What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I wanted to talk about this football team, not from America, that ended up faking one of their players' deaths in order to postpone a match, which is pretty nuts. Let's talk about it.
Nice racking her ass Brazilian, just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
Alright, so I think everyone has been in the situation where, like, you wish you had a little bit more time to do something, whether it be a group project, practice for a game, whatever it is. Sometimes we're a little bit unprepared. But for the most part, you expect people to kind of, like, get over it and just take the loss if they're unprepared for a game or a presentation, because it is what it is. But I guess for, like, a football club in Ireland, that just wasn't on the table, and when it came time to play a match they weren't prepared for, they just decided to fake a player's death to postpone it instead. Irish football team apologizes for faking player's death to postpone a match. Listen, I can't even say I would be mad at them for, like, making something up to get out of the match, right? Like, let's say you're really unprepared, your best player got the flu, it's the last match to get into the playoffs. Why don't you just be like, oh man, our bus broke down, or like any other excuse on the planet to not play this game. You could say that your locker room flooded in your stadium, like literally anything would be better off than like just pretending that a player died, because it's not like this player isn't gonna play again one day. Like, it's not like the player actually died, even if you cut him from your roster. If he's ever playing on someone else's roster and bumps into any of these players, they're gonna be like, wait a second, aren't you the guy that died on that one Irish football team? Like, listen, I can't say I hate them for trying to come up for a way to get out of a game they're not prepared for, but they just bit off way more than they can chew, and this is like the stupidest lie they could have possibly come up with ever to cover up for a game they're not ready for. Yeah, our player actually, died. An amateur Irish football team has been left embarrassed by the fiasco, but a Spanish soccer player can't help but see the funny side of his Lazarus-like return from the grave. Ballyrack FC's game against Arklow Town was postponed on Saturday after a club official announced the death of Spanish player Fernando Nula La Fuente in a traffic accident. Moments of silence were also held before the matches in the Leinster Senior League. See, dude, like, this is what I mean by you guys took it way too far. You didn't have to, like, get a moment of silence in every game across the league. Do you understand that you could have come up with literally any other lie to postpone the game? I understand it would have had to have been a serious one to postpone the game, right? But if you're really hell-bent on postponing it, like, clearly they were desperate for literally anything if they were lying about this, right? You could have done anything other than just lie about a player that died, bro. Could you imagine, like, all the fans at the game that weekend? And I know football is huge in the EU, so I know it's an amateur team, but I'm assuming that, like, they still play in front of people. Wow, man, what a sad story about that soccer player that was hit and killed in a traffic accident, only for him to, like, show up next week, score 3 goals. I just can't believe it, bro. Whoever was the guy that came up with this, obviously, like, not a very good idea. Not a good idea to fake a player's death, because the people are gonna find out that you faked it. But on top of that, dude, there had to have been a bunch of people involved in this to, like, say this was a good idea. Because if you think about it, it was an official club announcement. Like, that's not just one guy going rogue and posting that. He definitely has to get approval from somebody. Which means somewhere along the line, multiple people were like, oh crap, you're right, we can't play tomorrow. Fake a player's death, fake a player's death. Like, this was something that it seems like they were ready for. Maybe it was only 1 or 2 people, but clearly it had to have been somebody that had the ability to, like, release official statements on behalf of the team. That's somebody that's got some level of access. Someone way too high up in the team to be making choices like faking a player's death made a choice to fake a player's death, And listen, it's not like this is a situation where, like, a weekend at Bernie's, all right? This is like a football organization. These are supposed to be professional. I understand it's an Irish team, but it's still not a good look to be faking your player's death when you want to get players to come play for your team next year. Listen, we might only fake your death if we really have to. The official scam was a ruse to get Saturday's game postponed, but La Fuente was later confirmed to be alive. It's come to the attention of both the club, senior players, and the management of a team that a gross error of judgment occurred, emanating from correspondence sent from a member of a senior setup management team to the senior league. As of this evening, an emergency meeting was held, and the person in question has been relieved of all footballing duties within the football club and its senior team and roles within the club itself. The club has contacted Fernando to confirm his well-being and are thankful for his acceptance of our apology on the matter. Yeah, they have to be really, really grateful that the player was cool with this, you know? Like, not many people would be cool with you using them dying as an excuse to just get out of the game, right? Like, oh, no, yeah, it's totally cool. I understand. I'm just saying, I feel like most people wouldn't have been a chill about this. Like, not that there's much for him to get mad at, right? Like, if they apologized, you know, it was one big misunderstanding, but I feel like he could at the very least be like, okay, well, then you're going to release me from my contract early or something. Like, he probably could have done some type of something. At least he's just laughing at it, bro. I will say, at least they took action to get rid of that dude quick. Because not even that he probably wasn't, like, knowledgeable about football. But I just feel like at a certain point, if he's running around being like, no, let's send out the bulletin that people are dying and they're not dead, you kind of just can't leave him with that type of power, you know? Once you fake somebody's death one time, like, publicly on an official message bulletin for a soccer team, the soccer team has got to take away the privileges. Because you never know what he's going to put out next, dude. This was just a random day. Could you imagine what he would have done with their Twitter account on April Fools? My goodness, it would have been a train wreck. Things started to unravel there, and when we followed up on Monday to see if we get in touch with the lad's family and see if there was anything we could do, they said the body was already back in Spain, which didn't really add up. It's a shocking thing to do to get a game of football cut off. We had a minute's silence at all the other games, and the players wore black armbands. You have something wrong with you if you do something like that. Moran confirmed that the club secretary resigned on Tuesday. The club also said the individual responsible for the false report had been a long-serving member of the Dublin football community who contributed greatly to the senior team. At this stage, we can only offer our sincere apologies to the Senior League and our opponents, the Arklow Town FC, and the hosts of clubs and football people who made contact with us and offered messages of support in the recent days. The past few years has seen progress made in regards to the renewal of senior football in the Ballybrack area. Ooh, I said that wrong the entire time. Sorry. We are all taken aback by this type of event and hope to try to work with all relevant organizers and agencies to learn from this mistake. Honestly, I'm not going to hold it against the entire organization. If they got rid of the guy that did it, that's really like all that matters, right? And even that guy, you know, just caught up in the heat of the moment trying to win the soccer game, probably lost in the sauce of not realizing that it's just a soccer game and not that serious, bro. Like, now that he's no longer on the team, he's probably going to go on a walk and like see a duck in a pond and be like, oh my god, I faked someone's death for a soccer game. What was I thinking? You know? I just love that they had to add that he was like an upper level, senior level manager. For some reason, that makes it even worse. Like, in their mind, they released the statement, this will make it even better. Let's say that he's helped the team a crap ton and been here a long time. Well, then I'm even more confused on why he thought that faking a player's death would have been a good idea. Like, if he really has been running the football team for 30 years, he should have known that that was probably going to backfire if he tried it. But, you know, hey, to each their own. Some companies are better at PR than others. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. And, of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you really want to help me out, I'll put a link to the intro song down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffedcast, and of course, you could use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout. It's a great way to help me out, and I'd very much appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, I got two things to shout out. First things first, we got the Storytime Spotify. You can check out the link down below to listen to some of my story times offline on Spotify if you don't like gameplay or whatever floats your boat. And of course, we got the Karen Christmas sweater. Be sure to pick it up. I would very, very much appreciate it. That link's going to be in the top of the description, but as you can see, it's very cool, and it can be yours by going down and clicking the link in the top of the description. And yeah, on that note, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate you pressing the like button, all that good stuff, and don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.